Hello Grognards, super quick video here. I just wanted to talk about a new board game that I got. The game's called Battle of Hoth and it's made by Days of Wonder. Now, I'm always a sucker for a board game and this one really looked good. Battle of Hoth, AT-ATs versus Snow Speeders, Rebel Scum versus the Empire. What's not to like? So I checked it out, I picked it up. Being by Days of Wonder, I knew it wasn't going to be a particularly taxing game. Days of Wonder make, for example, things like Ticket to Ride, which is a phenomenally easy gateway game, the kind of game that you'd play with somebody who are trying to get into board gaming. But I'm a bit more seasoned than that, so I was curious to see if it would be as throwaway as one might expect. You can see here that it's part of the Galactic Battles line. Makes me wonder if we're going to maybe get some other versions of the game. Maybe a Battle of Endor, could be cool. How about Death Star Battle version with X-Wings and TIE Fighters? Once you find out more about the game, you'll see that all of this is easily possible. Let's have a look first of all at the contents. There's the back of your box. As you can see, it's not huge. It does not take up a lot of table space. It also does not take a lot of time to play. We got through 2 games in about 50 minutes. So yeah, very easy to get grips with, but still with a satisfying amount of strategic choices, as I'll outline in a minute. Ignore this little Disney bit here. I have a feeling that there will be no Disney Star Wars versions of this game. The Battle of Crate, unlikely. Starkiller Base, don't think it's going to make an appearance. I'm pretty sure that even Disney have worked out that people only care about the legacy stuff, at least for now. So let's have a look at those contents then. Here's your scenario book, which tells you exactly how to lay out the map. So it tells you which tiles you need and which units you need and where to deploy them. It also tells you the victory conditions. So you'll see here, you need to play to 5 medals, and it will tell you what kind of ways you can get the medals and also who starts the game first. It is really, really clear and easy to play. In fact, this is one of the most intuitive games that I've played. There are 17 missions in this book. Mission 18 is for you to take 2 copies of the game, put them together and have an epic battle. There are also 2 campaigns to play. Now, these campaigns basically take you through the different scenarios in the original book in various orders with some extra narrative. So you play, I don't know, mission 1, and then if it's a win for the Empire, it's another mission. If it's a win for the Rebels, it's a different mission. So you play through like that. And they're about 5 missions in total, so they don't take ages to get out of the way, but you do get 2 different books per side, which is pretty good. And these also bring in leader cards and support cards, which are 2 extra mechanisms that you can put into the core game should you wish, but they're designed for these scenarios. I think it's General Veers, Vader, and I'm not sure who the other one is for the Empire, and then it's Solo, Skywalker and Leia Organa, obviously for the Rebels. Here's your rule book. Components laid out, how to set up the game, and then the actual rules literally take up 2 pages. There's like 1 page here, 1 page here, and then this is the appendix, which I've put in there just to show you how it all breaks down. So you'll see here you've got the range for your troops, how far they fire, how many dice they get for each, what it takes to kill them. Super simple the way it's all laid out. And then you get some tokens in there to appoint some of your forces as special units. No extra models, sadly, but this was not expensive. I think it was about 50 quid, and I got it cheaper than that because I got it from like a Chaos Cards or something like that, I think. Actually, I think it might have been Wayland. I think I might have got this from Wayland. Thanks, Wayland. So yeah, you can mark out various units and make them special forces, which is a nice touch. So getting onto the components, everything goes back in its box beautifully. Now, I always give games an extra point for this. I love games where they think about how things will go back in the box. And indeed, you can see here there's extra space, which I may or may not be using to put 3D prints in. Spoiler, that's what I'm using it for. Each army's units also comes in a lovely box with an embossed, clear kind of logo. All fits, all looks great. The units themselves are beautifully created, so much detail. I'll try and get a few close-ups for you to put in the video. So here it all is before I took it out. The cards came wrapped in a wax paper, which I'm not entirely sure was necessary, but it's appreciated. And the other thing that's really appreciated is these runner things here that are designed for you to put your cards in to keep them secret from your opponent. Very cool little touch. Here's your tokens. Before I punch them out, you're lucky I've got a photo. Punching out tokens is one of my favourite things to do. These are all double-sided, and that's maybe one of the few things that is a bit of a grumble with the setup, as sometimes you'll be looking for one and it's on the reverse of another one that you've already used. But I do appreciate the fact that, the fact they've double-sided these does mean that you can get extra use. They haven't had to print extra card, and that keeps the cost down. So these, for example, are all Rebel on the reverse. There's your board. It's not massive. It doesn't need to be. It does exactly what it needs to. It takes up to 5 victory tokens here, so you can see how you're doing in the game. And there's plenty of room to manoeuvre, even when you've got loads of different stuff on there. As mentioned in the scenario book, if you have 2 copies, you can jam them up together. Well, I'm not going to do that. Maybe.
Don't tempt me further.
And here's some nice, easy breakdown cards for you. So you get a card telling you what all of the terrain does. Keep that out next to you during the game. And then these are double-sided. One side is Rebel. One side is the Imperials. Keep that next to you. You'll never not know what's going on. I haven't got to use the artillery towers yet. They look crazy. There's all your books laid out. So you can see you've got your rule book, your scenario book, and then your campaign books. The second Rebel one is inside the first one. These are the cards that come in the game, and you'll see that each card dictates an area of the board and tells you what you can do with that area. So here you can take 1 unit and order them, and then when you pick up your card afterwards, you can take 2 cards, choose one, discard the other. You can see here that I've played a Activate 2 on the right hand flank to get my Rebel troopers up to ambush and kill Kirsty's guys here. This is before they've moved. So the way that it goes is very simple. Troops can move 1 and shoot, or 2 and not shoot. That's it. Simple as that. And then the amount of dice that you get is dependent on how far away you are. If you're adjacent to your target, you get 3 dice. If you're 2 steps away, you get 2 dice. If you're 3 hexes away, you get 1 die. Again, very, very simple. And this is the case even as you lose dudes. So you'll see here that the Empire start with 4 stormtroopers per unit. The Rebels only have 3 troopers per unit. Excellent way of representing the Imperial superiority in numbers. The dice have different sides. You need an explosion or a troop symbol to kill an opposing trooper. Again, super simple. You move your dudes, you roll the dice, that's it. If your troop straddles 2 sections, it counts as being in both. So you'll see how I've moved my guys up, played another card on top to activate these guys. It's all really, really simple. The terrain all has different effects. Obviously, they are only cardboard tiles here. Might be 3D printing some nice ice columns and things. You never know. All of the terrain has different effects. That's all explained in the book. It plays super easy. You'll see here on these dice roll that there is a purple symbol. This is a pushback. The X is a miss. This is a hit, the blue little dude. And the purple one is a pushback. After all shooting is resolved, that unit has to be pushed back 1 space. Again, beautifully simple. The game design in this really is great. You'll see at this late stage in the game, the Rebels are doing pretty well over on the right-hand flank. On the left-hand flank, they have taken a beating. My card in the middle there is all. I'm activating everything I've got in that middle section to try and reinforce the left. This is much later in the game, and you'll see that we've got little dudes sitting on our board edges. These are your victory tokens. Generally, the condition is to get to 4 victory tokens. Once you do that, you claim the victory in that game. Kirsty's got 2 of my units destroyed. I've got 2 of her units destroyed. Generally, you get a token when you destroy a unit, but there are other missions in the game that have objectives and give you different objectives for those kind of things and different ways to score victory tokens. Again, you'll see here, probe droid up in the top right-hand corner. I would have got 2 victory tokens if I destroyed that, giving me a chance to win the game early. The black symbol on this dice in the middle is for mechanical units. As the game wore on, it became more and more tense. My gambit on the left completely failed. Kirsty was 1 away from victory, but I managed to destroy a probe droid, and this gave me the win. Our next game, we got to play with snow speeders and an AT-AT. Snow speeders mounted a lightning attack on the Imperials. They get to move free, and at point blank range, they shoot with 4 dice. but they only have a range of 2.
Echo Station 5-7, we're on our way.
Any unit on a ridge gets a -1 to shoot against it. So even though these stormtroopers were adjacent, if they were shooting these guys, they wouldn't get 3 dice, they'd get 2, unless they were also on the ridge, in which case they are unaffected. My attack worked pretty well. Wiped out a load of troopers, got the remainder to fall back. Then the AT-AT turned around, decided it wanted some of that. After taking a casualty, the land speeders mounted their own attack against the AT-AT. Now, AT-ATs are really hard to blow up. You hit them on a black or a yellow result, which is just basically, 2 sides of the dice. But then you have to re-roll that hit and get another explosion result to destroy the AT-AT. They are tough. Both of my land speeders failed to take out the AT-AT, and it destroyed another one as they tried to bring down the Behemoth. Once again, the land speeders went in, fired, miss. Infantry, the AT-AT was standing strong. It was my troop that managed to get a lucky hit and then re-roll one and get the explosion, taking out the AT-AT, winning me the second game. And that's it. What can I say? Battle of Hoth is a great game. I really enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to other versions that Days of Wonder might make under the Galactic Battles banner. It has plenty of strategic depth in it. There are, every now and again, just a couple of things where you're like, just seems like it wouldn't, For example, when my troopers ended up taking out the AT-AT, yeah, you could say a lot of the land speeders already weakened it or something like that. I can see why they didn't want to go say, troopers can't take out the AT-AT, because then if the AT-AT takes out all the land speeders, the rebel player can't win. But there's just a few disconnects like that. That is it, though, I have to say. Other than that, this is extremely impressive, extremely quick to get to the table, and extremely quick to play. It's the kind of thing that kids could pick up very easily, but there is hidden depth in some of the cards that will allow you to make up tactics, and the support cards and leader cards add to this. I give Battle of Hoth a hearty recommendation. It is seriously good, seriously old school, and seriously fun. Definitely consider picking up this one. That's it for now, guys. I'll be back with another video soon, and remember, stay grognard.